Now I'm gonna get into something else that is interesting about Chrissy Teigen. So that's
Oh,
second topic.
Chrissy,
Chrissy, Chrissy,
Chrissy.
Chrissy, she funny as hell because she had me. First off, her tweets are funny. So Chrissy Teigen make history with her previous Twitter comments about our former president uh, Donald J. Trump. And so this is politics. So let me just give you the little background story about this, right? So back in 2019, that's where it all started, actually. But it got worse, though. It got worse, though. So Trump was trying to get people to take down tweets, especially specifically to Chrissy, because she this is what she said to this man. She said, so before leading up to it, this is what he said, and this is September 8th of 2019. He said, a man named Van Jones, he's talking about the correspondent that's on NBC in
Yeah,
NSBC or CNN, one of them. He's always on
yeah,
somebody's stuff, but he always be
yeah.
talking some good stuff though. And many others were profusely grateful at that time that I signed it into law. No one else will did it, and Republicans deserve much credit. But now that it has passed, people have virtually nothing to do with it and are taking the praise. Guys like boring musician John Legend and his filthy mouth wife are talking now about how
Filthy.
great it is, but I don't see them around when we need to help getting it passed. Anchor at Lester Holt, NBC doesn't even bring up the subject of President Trump or other Republicans when talking about this. So this is basically a spat between the former president and the couple about criminal justice reform law, right? And
Gotcha.
she said, laugh out loud, what a pussy ass bitch tagged everybody but me and honor Mr. President. I was like, well, goddamn. I was just like, and if you think about in today, like 2023, she asked, so they asked for the Twitter to remove the tweet as it was a derogatory statement directed towards the president, and nobody wasn't, everybody was excited to hear how this was actually put. Wait, I'm sorry, this is ridiculous, it's funny, but no one was more excited to hear the explicit tweet said during a hearing than Teigen herself, who took to Instagram to share a clip of the moment. She said, "I don't know how to go on after this." I was dead. So we're gonna go ahead and cue up what we're talking about of how that tweet got literally now it's in the record. It's in a record. So engineer, cue up that if you can cue up that video, please.
On September 8th, 2019, at 11:11 p.m., Donald Trump heckled two celebrities on Twitter, John Legend and his wife Chrissy Teigen, and referred to them as the musician John Legend and his filthy mouthed wife, unquote. Ms. Teigen responded to that email at 12:17 a.m. And according to notes from a conversation with you, Ms. Navaroli's counsel, your counsel, the White House almost immediately thereafter contacted Twitter to demand the tweet be taken down. Is that accurate?
Thank you for the question. In my role, I was not responsible for receiving any sort of request from the government. However, what I was privy to was my supervisors letting us know that we had received something along those lines or something of a request. In that particular instance, I do remember hearing that we had received a request from the White House to make sure that we evaluated this tweet and that they wanted it to come down because it was a derogatory statement directed towards the
They
president.
wanted it to come down. They made that request.
To my recollection, yes.
I thought that was an inappropriate action by a government official, let alone the White House. But it wasn't Joe Biden about his son's laptop. It was Donald Trump because he didn't like what Chrissy Teigen had to say about him. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
My. You ever think it's appropriate for the President of the United States to direct or otherwise influence a social media company to take down its content?
I think it's a very slippery slope.
Ms. Naravoli, earlier you testified about a 2019 tweet
that was about President Trump. And I think it was from Ms. Teigen. What was the tweet about?
Would you like me to give the direct quote?
Yeah.
Please excuse my language, this is a direct quote, but Chrissy Teigen referred to Donald Trump as a pussy-ass bitch.
Okay. Free speech. And what happened after Ms. Teigen posted her tweet? What did the White House do? What did the Trump White House do?
From my understanding, the White House reached out to ask that this tweet be removed. It was my team's job. This fell underneath the policy for abusive behaviors, and we evaluated underneath our insults policy. At that time, up to 3 insults were allowed, and so it was our job to determine how many insults were included within that phrase.
So the Trump White House reached out, not an agency, but the White House reached out and requested that you remove the tweet.
From my understanding, yes.
Okay.
First off, oh my God. She tried to keep her composure and he did too. And they was, first off, I was dying.
They call him a pal.
They did. And I was like, first off,
She hood.
she is hood. I don't care what nobody said. Like on low key, she probably said that quite a few times after that day.
Oh,
before
yeah.
that hearing. She was like,
Oh,
pussy ass bitch. Like,
Right.
like she was already saying it, you know?
I feel like she from Chicago.
I do. I really do. She was playing the role that she was playing in that moment. But that shit was funny as hell because guess what?
Funny as shit.
I was dying because she's like,
Pussy ass bitch.
and then she's like, would you like for me to say the quote?
Would you like me? He was like, and,
I say
and I would like you to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And then he was like, okay, yeah.
You're like, pussy ass bitch.
Freedom of speech. Go
Very
go
much
ahead and
so.
say it.
I'm
Yeah,
just reading
very much so.
verbatim.
I'm just
And-
reading verbatim.
And I just find that super hilarious where you're telling me that we're wasting tax dollars on stupid shit like this.
Absolutely.
Seriously, because what was also very interesting listening to their policy is that they had to determine if it was up to the 3 max that you can do, which technically it
I didn't know
is.
you could insult a motherfucker 3 times
Times
without
it'd be
getting in trouble.
Exactly. So it's just like, so if you kind of think about it, it's like pussy ass bitch is 3 words. So technically, I think her post actually stayed up there. So because it's their policy.
It's within that policy.
I mean, because the thing is, it's
pussy ass and a bitch.
pussy ass bitch. I was like,
Do
you know what?
combos count as one curse word? or as 3 insults?
I mean, that's 3 insults. So, and they allow up to 3. So,
Oh, man,
you
that
know,
is
they got only have
hilarious.
140 characters on here, right? So you can allow that and be okay. And now that I know that, I'm okay with if I need to insult
Oh,
somebody.
man. Exactly. I'm
It's
just
like-
wondering when she had that conversation with her husband. How did that conversation go? You're like, did you hear what that motherfucker said about me? Baby, you know what? I should tweet something. You know what? You should. What you think about tweeting? I'm about to call him a pussy ass bitch. And then, wait, John Legend's probably like, wait a minute. Let me check how much money we got in the bank. Go for it.
Wait, and then it was so funny is that, you know, she could have been super petty and just at him at that. She didn't even at him.
Man.
Like, that's how you know she wasn't as petty with it, but she said what she had to
Yeah.
say without
Yeah.
necessarily naming him. Because guess what? She honestly could be talking about anybody else too now. So that's how you know.
Nah, son.
No, we all know what she was talking about, but if you swing it that way, you can swing it that way to say she really was talking about somebody else.
I don't know. I think Stevie Wonder can see who the fuck she talking about.
No, that nigga can't. But look.
You stupid.
They didn't
No,
make
he
that
can't.
technology yet. Damn, I'm wrong. They're like, they ain't make that yet. But it was very interesting though. I was like,
Yeah.
well, goddamn. That's pretty jacked up. But
Yeah.
I'm like, do our government really need to be focusing on something like that? Like, to me,
I don't think so.
No.
I think they're spending too much time and energy on that, but they're coming to a point. And that point is you have to point out when a active president has overstepped his bounds.
Exactly. And I think they haven't
and
been able to determine
mhm,
that yet.
and use resources that are government resources that we are paying for as taxpayers
Mhm.
to do something as petty. And I'm saying this with because I helped to pay for that because I'm a taxpayer. Something as petty as going after Twitter for tweets.
Yeah, basically. Because what it all kind of stems from is um there's a lot of Twitter users who are politicians that have complained against Twitter with the ability they don't have the ability
Mhm,
to really say what they want to say like they previously were able to do
mhm,
so
mhm,
prior to Trump, and Trump kind of
mhm.
took it too far and kind of forced the hand of Twitter to kind of manage
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think that Twitter was right in their right to do that, because in all fairness, yes, this is a platform for us to be able, everyone to be able to comment and say what they need to do, say or
Mhm.
whatever, but we also have to use caution when doing so.
Correct. Correct.
Even the president of the United States, you will think, will use caution in his communication instead of
Correct.
every time you hear him, he's talking negatively about everybody around
Correct.
him.
Mhm.
And that looks bad. That looks really bad. Like, nobody can sit here and tell me that that
Yeah.
looks good. That a
Yeah. Absolutely.
president of the United States that's representing the people of the United States that is concerned about one person in their comment, period, point blank, but you shouldn't have never made the fucking comment in the first place. You should have just congratulated your team on the success and everyone involved for putting into law the reform and be happy about it. But he made it so negative. It's just like he
Mhm.
doesn't know how to shut the fuck up and just be okay. Shut up, bro.
Shut the fuck
Shut
up.
up and be okay with, sorry, I had to say this. Like, you just be okay with the things that you have been able to do. You don't have, everything is not meant to be commented on. And I think
Mhm.
that was a problem with the Trump administration, a lot of politicians too, is
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
they're worrying about the wrong thing. I'm like, first off, you guys have been elected. I need you guys to go out there and do your job. You're not celebrities, you're
Mhm.
politicians. And remember that you are
Absolutely.
politicians. And I think that's where we're drawing a big blur, a line between the two, where Trump thinks he's on Celebrity Apprentice again, and he thinks that he's doing, like, sir, you're not an entertainment.
Well, the thing is, they have given him the platform and the power to say things that usually a well-refined president wouldn't say,
Yes,
be it Republican or Democrat.
exactly.
I'm not, I don't really get into politics a lot of times because, two things I rarely discuss, and that's politics and religion. Because people have died over both.
Yep.
And those are sensitive topics. But I
Mhm.
think in this case in particular, don't be a bad loser and don't be a bad winner.
Mhm.
If this is your policy and it went through, hurrah, hurrah for you.
Yes.
Period, point blank.
Mhm.
Don't sit back and spin it from a positive to something negative,
Mhm.
or to use it to push your agenda. That's
Yeah.
not how, because that's what it's going to seem like.
And it is, and that's exactly what it is. But the thing is that people are not holding him or others accountable for their actions, and that's why
Mhm.
these things continuously happen. And it's kind of weird. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, "What's happening in the government is similar to what has happened as an HR professional watching organizations that does this too,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. Mhm.
Where they're not checking people when they should be checking people. And they're just
Correct.
doing what everyone want to do, and then when shit hits the fan, what are you gonna do?
Mhm.
It's out of your control, but you allow it to happen, being passive aggressive instead of
Mhm.
have a
Mhm.
backbone and say something about it. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah,
we all are American people,
we
regardless of
are.
where we come from.
Absolutely.
We are all
Absolutely.
Americans, and that we need to love and support our country as much as we
Yeah,
can and our people that's in it.
yeah.
So if we're not doing those things, we're going against our country.
Exactly. And I think, we should hire a regular person to be in the White House with whatever president, and just a regular person that
Mhm.
could say, I need you to shut the fuck up today.
Thank you. Check his ass. That's supposed to be the chief of staff, but I don't know. But
No, I'm talking about a regular person, like a regular DeAndre, a regular Ray, Day, Jose. Okay, look, it doesn't matter. A regular person, okay, from down there on Crenshaw, from the west side of Chicago, that can sit back with the president and say, "Hey, let me go over your script real quick. You about to read this?"
Shut the fuck up, bro. You gonna read this? This is your new script. This is what
This
we
shit
doing
is
today.
dumb as fuck.
Yeah, it's like, bro, this shit don't make sense. You're gonna sound stupid. Well, we gonna go somewhere another route.
Stupid as fuck. This is not for the people. This don't sound like it's for the people.
Nah, nigga, sound
Does
like
this sound like
you.
it's for the people to you?
And we're petty with it too. Be like, nah, bro, this don't even
Nah, son.
nah.
This don't sound like it's for the people. Sound like it's for you.
Right. I'm like, let me check you real quick.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
the
what
new
I'm
script.
saying. Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying that's what I think. You know, you have that person that's impartial, that's in the office, that can go over these, these things and be like, no, this doesn't sound right.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to. It's just like, it is what it is. First and foremost, those are some great topics.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I do want to thank our sponsors though, real quick. We got a lot of sponsors. So
Nice.
our first sponsors, of course, is Poppins Productions, which is an entertainment and consulting agency. You can look us up at www.poppinsproductions.com. Of course, Poppins Urban Podcast. That's www.poppinsurbanpodcast.com. And of course, Mary Ussens. MaryUssens.com. Yes. All your HR consulting, life coaching, business coaching, career coaching, you name it, your girl does it. Your girl certified, she can do it. Okay.